Everyone says Florida is the retirement capital of America. No income tax, warm weather, retiree communities everywhere. It's the obvious answer when someone asks where to retire on a fixed income. Here's the number they never put in the headline: $7,136. That's the average homeowner's insurance premium in Florida in 2026 per year, the highest in the nation. Divide that by 12, and you're paying $595 every single month before you've paid for groceries, your Medicare supplement, or a single utility bill. That's the average homeowner's insurance premium in Florida in 2026 per year, the highest in the nation. If you're retiring on $2,500 a month, which is Social Security at or near its average, plus a small supplement, that one number changes everything. Today we're running the real math on Florida, Texas, and Tennessee, three of the most recommended retirement states in America. 5 categories: housing costs, property taxes, healthcare access, utilities and hidden costs, and what's left over after you pay for everything. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one actually works on a $2,500 monthly budget, and which ones sound good in articles but quietly break the math when the real numbers arrive. Let me start with one important note. $2,500 a month is the realistic retirement income for millions of Americans. The 2026 average Social Security benefit at full retirement age is $2,071 per month. Add a small pension, a modest withdrawal from a 401k, or a few hours of part-time work, and $2,500 is the budget we're working with. This isn't a poverty scenario. It's the median American retirement scenario. And almost nobody is running these numbers honestly for this income level. Here's the monthly budget framework I'm using for each state. A 2-bedroom apartment or the carrying cost of a modestly priced home. Medicare Part B at $202.90, plus a standard supplement plan. Groceries for one person. Average utilities. Basic transportation. And a buffer for anything unexpected. Every dollar has to land somewhere. Let's run the states. Florida first, because Florida is where the conversation has to start. Florida has no state income tax. Your Social Security, your pension, your 401k withdrawals, the state takes nothing. That's real, and it matters, but income tax is only one line in the retirement budget. And in Florida in 2026, it's not the line that decides the outcome. Let's start with housing, because housing is where Florida's math breaks at $2,500 a month. A 2-bedroom apartment in Florida's secondary cities, Ocala, Lakeland, Gainesville, the areas that retirement articles present as affordable alternatives to Miami or Tampa, runs between $1,200 and $1,600 per month. In Ocala, which is regularly cited as one of Florida's most affordable retirement destinations, the average 2-bedroom apartment runs approximately $1,300 per month in 2026. Start there. $1,300 for rent. Add Medicare. Part B at $202.90, plus a basic supplement at around $150. That's $353 for healthcare. Add groceries at $420, utilities at $200, transportation at $220. You're at $2,543 before you've set aside a single dollar for anything unexpected. You are already over budget. Without a car repair, without a dental visit, without a dinner out. Now, here's what happens if you own your home rather than renting. Florida's homestead exemption caps your assessed value increase at 3% per year, which genuinely helps longtime owners. Property taxes on a $200,000 home average about $185 per month after the homestead exemption. That's manageable. But then comes the insurance. In Florida's inland counties, not on the coast, not near water, homeowners insurance averaged $7,136 per year in 2026. That's $595 per month. Add your $185 in property taxes and your monthly housing cost on a paid-off $200,000 home is $780 before maintenance. Many coastal zip codes have stopped offering affordable private insurance entirely. Citizens Property Insurance, Florida's state-backed insurer of last resort, has seen average premiums exceed $11,000 per year in some counties. A retiree who moved to a coastal community 5 years ago on a $2,500 budget may have watched their insurance triple while their Social Security increased by 2.8%. The bottom line on Florida at $2,500 per month. It works if you own a paid-off home in an inland county, have insurance below the state average, and have no unexpected expenses for the year. That's a narrow margin. For renters or new arrivals, the math simply doesn't close. Florida is a comfortable retirement state for people with $4,000 or more per month. At $2,500, the insurance crisis has closed the window. Now let's look at Texas. Texas is more complicated than Florida, and the complication works both for and against retirees on a fixed income. No state income tax. Social Security not taxed. That's the headline, and it's real. But Texas makes up its state revenue somewhere else. And for retirees, the somewhere else is property taxes. Texas has some of the highest property tax rates in the United States. The average effective rate runs approximately 1.8% statewide. On a $200,000 home, a modest retirement home in most Texas secondary cities, that's $3,600 per year or $300 per month. On a $250,000 home, which is closer to the median price in smaller Texas cities like Lubbock or Wichita Falls, the bill climbs to $375 per month. Texas does offer a senior exemption. Homeowners 65 and older receive at least a $10,000 reduction in their homestead value for school district taxes, and the school district portion of the tax is frozen at the level it was when you turned 65. This matters. In practice, the senior exemption reduces property taxes by $1,000 to $1,500 per year in most counties, bringing the effective monthly cost down to approximately $200 to $270. Here's the Texas monthly math in a secondary city like Lubbock. A decent two-bedroom apartment runs between $900 and $1,100 per month. If you own a paid-off $200,000 home with the senior exemption, your property tax runs about $220 per month, homeowner's insurance about $185 per month, bringing housing costs to $405 per month for homeowners. Healthcare is the same for all 3 states. Medicare is federal. Groceries run close to the national average, but Texas utilities deserve their own paragraph. Texas summers are not like summers anywhere else in the continental United States. In cities like Lubbock, Abilene, San Antonio, and most of Texas outside the hill country, average summer temperatures run above 95 degrees for weeks at a time. The average monthly electric bill in Texas runs around $150 to $180 in the cooler months and climbs to $250 to $350 in July and August. The annual average comes out to roughly $180 per month, higher than Tennessee, lower than coastal states, but a real line item that changes the monthly budget. The Texas monthly math for a renter in a secondary city: rent $1,000, Medicare and supplement $353, groceries $410, utilities $180, transportation $220, total $2,163, monthly remaining $337. That's a workable buffer. For a homeowner with a paid-off home, housing costs, property tax plus insurance $405, Medicare $353, groceries $410, utilities $180, transportation $220, total $1,568, monthly remaining $932. That's genuine comfort. Texas works at $2,500 per month, but it works specifically in secondary cities, specifically for homeowners, and specifically for people who can manage Texas summers. In Austin, Dallas, or Houston, the math breaks. Rent in Austin's affordable neighborhoods runs $1,400 to $1,800 per month. Property taxes in Travis County push 2.1%. Texas is a tale of 2 retirement destinations. The major metros where $2,500 a month is a struggle, and the smaller cities where it's manageable. Now, let's talk about Tennessee. Because when you run all 5 categories against a $2,500 monthly budget, Tennessee wins cleanly. No state income tax. Social Security not taxed. That's the same foundation as Florida and Texas. But Tennessee's property taxes are a different category entirely. The average effective property tax rate in Tennessee is 0.56%. On a $200,000 home, that's $1,120 per year, $93 per month. Florida runs $185 per month. Texas runs $220 to $270 per month. Tennessee runs $93. That's not a rounding difference. Over a 20-year retirement, the gap between Texas and Tennessee property taxes on the same home is approximately $42,000. Tennessee's housing costs in secondary cities are the most favorable of the 3 states. Johnson City, Cookeville, Jackson, and Murfreesboro's outer communities offer 2-bedroom apartments consistently in the $900 to $1,100 per month range in 2026. Secondary cities outside Nashville are cheaper than equivalent communities in Texas and dramatically cheaper than equivalent Florida options. Utilities in Tennessee benefit from a genuine climate advantage. 4 distinct seasons mean Tennessee doesn't have Florida's humidity-driven cooling costs or Texas's extreme summer heat. Average monthly utilities run $130 to $150, roughly 20% below the Texas average. Healthcare access in Tennessee is strong. Vanderbilt Medical Center in Nashville is consistently ranked among the top 20 hospitals in the United States. Major regional hospitals in Knoxville, Chattanooga, and Memphis provide solid coverage across the state. Secondary cities have adequate primary care, though specialist access in rural areas requires planning. There is one Tennessee caveat that Jim Stevenson's video correctly identified, and I won't gloss over it. Tennessee has the highest combined sales tax rate in America. The combined state and local rate runs approximately 9.6% in most counties, and the state taxes groceries at 4%. For a retiree spending $500 per month on groceries and retail goods, that's approximately $48 in sales tax on food alone, or $576 per year. That's real money, and it belongs in the honest calculation. Here's the Tennessee monthly math for a renter in a secondary city. Rent $975, Medicare and supplement $353, groceries $400, with roughly $16 in grocery sales tax built in, utilities $140, transportation $220, total $2,088, monthly remaining $412. That's a genuine buffer. For a Tennessee homeowner with a paid-off $200,000 home, property tax $93, homeowner's insurance approximately $135, total housing costs $228, Medicare $353, groceries with tax $416, utilities $140, transportation $220, total $1,357, monthly remaining $1,143. That's the number that changes retirement from survival to comfort. Let me put all 3 states side by side so you can see the actual comparison. Monthly budget for a renter on $2,500. Florida, total expenses $2,543, monthly remaining -$43. Texas, total expenses $2,163, monthly remaining $337. Tennessee, total expenses $2,088, monthly remaining $412. Monthly budget for a homeowner on $2,500. Florida, total housing costs $780, property tax plus insurance. Texas, total housing costs $405. Tennessee, total housing costs $228. In every scenario, Tennessee delivers more remaining budget than Florida or Texas at the $2,500 income level. The property tax advantage alone covers the grocery sales tax 3 times over. Now here's what the raw numbers don't capture. And this is the part most retirement comparison videos skip. Consider a couple. Call them Robert and Linda. Robert is 65, retired from a manufacturing job in Ohio with a $23,000 annual pension and Social Security of $1,847 per month. Linda is 63, collecting $1,124 per month in Social Security. Their combined monthly income is $4,395, but they've been planning their individual budget around $2,500 each in case something happens to one of them. Robert had initially set his sights on Sarasota, Florida. He'd done the research. No income tax, golf communities everywhere. His brother lived in Bradenton, but when he sat down and looked at homeowners insurance for a 2-bedroom home near his brother, the cheapest quote he could find was $8,400 per year. The second cheapest was $11,200. His budget didn't have room for $700 a month just in insurance before he'd paid for a single meal. He spent 3 months looking at Tennessee instead. He found a home in Cookeville, 90 minutes from Nashville, solid hospital system, 4 seasons, a downtown with actual restaurants. His insurance quote for a comparable home, $1,620 per year. His property taxes, $980. His combined housing costs for the year, $2,600. His Florida insurance cost alone would have been more than his entire year of Tennessee housing costs. The state comparison articles Robert had been reading were accurate. Florida has no income tax. He just hadn't been looking at the full picture. Here's the takeaway. Florida is an excellent retirement state for people with $4,000 or more per month. The income tax benefit is real. The retiree infrastructure is real. But the insurance crisis has priced fixed-income retirees out of the state unless they own a paid-off inland home with insurance already in place. New arrivals on $2,500 per month will find that the math doesn't close. Texas works, specifically in secondary cities, specifically for homeowners, specifically for people who can handle Texas summers. The senior property tax exemption helps meaningfully. But in major metros, the budget breaks, and utilities are a real cost that most comparison articles understate. Tennessee is the most consistent performer at the $2,500 income level. The combination of zero income tax, the lowest property taxes of the 3 states, reasonable rent in secondary cities, and moderate utilities creates a budget that has genuine breathing room rather than forcing you to hope nothing unexpected happens. $412 to $1,143 remaining, breathing room. Here is your action plan. Step 1. Calculate your honest monthly income including all Social Security, pension, and withdrawal income. Use your actual 2026 numbers from SSA Gov and your account statements. Step 2. Identify the specific city, not just the state. Florida, Texas, and Tennessee all have dramatically different costs depending on whether you're in a major metro or a secondary city. Run the numbers for the specific place you're considering, not the state average. Step 3. Get an insurance quote before you commit. In Florida especially, get a real quote from a licensed broker for a specific property before you make any moving decisions. Step 4. Calculate the full housing cost, rent or property tax, plus insurance, plus utilities. That full number, not just rent, is what determines whether a state works on your budget. Step 5. Model the worst case. What happens in month 14 when the car needs brakes and the dentist finds something? The state with the most remaining monthly budget is the state that survives the unexpected. In our next video, we're going deeper into the Tennessee retirement map. Which specific cities have the best combination of low housing costs, healthcare access, and quality of life for retirees on a fixed income? We're ranking 10 Tennessee cities against the $2,500 budget, and a few of them will surprise you. Subscribe now so you don't miss that. If you're currently living on a fixed retirement income and you found a city that works anywhere in the country, drop it in the comments. Specific city. what it costs you per month. Your real experience is more valuable than any article, and it might change someone's retirement plan entirely. We'll see you in the next one.